Hi everyone, this is Zakir and this is the 8th video in our module functions. Check the previous video if you missed it in the description below. In the previous video, we learned how to sketch the graph of a quadratic function. Today, we will learn how to predict the type of the curve of the quadratic function. Before moving on to this, take a look at this quadratic function y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. The discriminant of this is b squared minus 4ac, and this is represented by delta x. The behavior of a curve of a quadratic function can be determined by this delta x and the leading coefficient a. So there are 6 different types of curves. First, let's look at the situations when a is greater than 0. So the first situation is when a is greater than 0 and also delta x is greater than 0. Then the graph would look like this. The properties are it will be U-shaped, so therefore it will have a minima, and the graph will intercept the x-axis at 2 places. The next situation is when delta x equals 0 and a is greater than 0. Here also the graph will be U-shaped, however the graph will not intercept the x-axis. In fact, the minimum value will just touch the x-axis. So there will be only one value for x when y equals 0, and that would also be the coordinate of the minima. So next, let's see when delta x is less than 0 and a is greater than 0. This is the graph for such a situation. Here it is still U-shaped, so it will have a minima, but there is no interception or touching of the x-axis at all. Next, let's move on to when a is less than 0. The first situation is when delta x is greater than 0 and a is less than 0. The graph will be an upside down U. Therefore, we will have a maxima. Also, here the graph intercepts the x-axis at 2 places. So we will have 2 values for x when y equals 0. When delta x equals 0 and a is less than 0, the graph will be an upside down U and just touch the x-axis. The coordinates of the maxima will be the point where the graph touches the x-axis. This gives the function just one value for x when y equals 0. The final situation is when delta x is less than 0 and a is also less than 0. Here, the shape is still an upside down U, so the graph will have a maxima. However, the graph does not touch or intercept the x-axis and always remains below the x-axis. So by observing the above 6 curves, we can see that when a is greater than 0, the graph is U-shaped, and when a is less than 0, the graph is an upside down U. Also, when delta x is greater than 0, the graph intercepts the x-axis at 2 places. But when delta x equals 0, there is just one value of x when y equals 0. And when delta x is less than 0, there is no interception of the x-axis at all. So with that, we move on to our tip of the day. There are 2 very important graphs to be noted here. The first graph is this. Here, all the values of y are positive. That is, it is greater than 0. So, if you are given a question where it is stated that the function is always positive, then you must know that this is the type of the curve they are referring to, and that there are no x values when y equals 0. Similarly, if you are told that the function is always negative, then it has to be this type of curve. And here also there are no x values when y equals 0. This way you will know the properties of the curve and be able to solve the question easily. These types of questions are quite common in exams. So that brings us to the end of this video. Please subscribe to our channel, like our Facebook page, and share this video to your friends or to anyone who will benefit from this video. If you have any questions or any topic that you find difficult to understand, please ask us in the comments below. We are always ready to help you. Until then, take care.